Hi, this is Norman Kochnick on the second day's play, the end of second day's play of the Border Gavaskar Trophy between India and Australia in the fourth test, which is at the Gabba in Brisbane. This match is, again, enthralling as all games have been. Unfortunately, we've had a rain delay. In fact, the rain delay after tea, which didn't allow the players to go back on, actually has led to the day being called off. With a 9:30 a.m. start tomorrow morning, the umpires have made the decision the ground is no longer in nick to be able to be played on. Although the likes of Alan Borders, just being on the ground, actually said that it's quite amicable there to be played now. It's in good condition to be played. But anyway, the decision's been made. Umpires have called the day off with a 9:30 start tomorrow morning being the third day's play. Again, India performed particularly well over the day, close to 2 days now. Yet again, Australia have pushed forward and the Indians have pulled them back. That's the way it's been described, and I would agree with that. Australia push forward, get runs, and then it brings it back by taking wickets. And considering four players coming to the side, two debutants, one Shardul has only played one game, some 10 overs before today. Effectively a very raw and new bowling attack. A batting side that's particularly good, but needs that depth. They've done fantastically well again. They've got some 7 players out, a whole host of reasons not to play well, but they're again showing immense fight. So Australia started the day back today on the second day's play at 5 for 274 this morning, with both Payne and Green, Payne on 38 and Green on 28. So those two look particularly good yet again this morning. Payne progressed on to score his 50 and looked very good actually. But then Payne got, unfortunately, caught off a very good ball by Shardul, caught by Sharma in the slips, and that effectively saw the 6-wicket fall at 311. In fact, that was a 98-run partnership, which, considering all as a particularly important partnership, I believe, may actually have a large impact on the game. So that brought in Cummins to bat with Green. Green didn't last much longer. The score was only 2 runs more, 7 for 313. Green was bowled comprehensively by Washington Sundar for 47 off a ball that was meant to spin away and it came straight, was basically filled. Green didn't have a clue what happened to him. It was bowled comprehensively. So Australia were actually 7 for 313 and led to Cummins. Not shortly after, only on 2, was LBW to Shardul. A full ball was clearly out. That led to Australia being 8 for 315. So they've only had 3 wickets taken in 4 runs and in some 14 deliveries. A very strong part of the day. You would argue that India, yet again, Australia went ahead and India pulled them back. And 8 for 315 was a very positive position for India to have Australia in, and they should have cleaned them up at that point. Unfortunately, both Lyons and Stark then continued to bat, and they actually started the ball well. In fact, Lyons, he claims, hit the best drive of the day, in fact, of the series. Well, maybe not that good, but it was a particularly good shot. And Lyon, on his 100th test match, got a rousing set of applause from the crowd. Looked particularly happy to be out there and seemed to be quite free in his thought and actually hit quite well. And that led to a distinct partnership where the next wicket fell at 354, with Lyon bowled by Sundar trying to sweep for 24 runs, and they were 9 for 354. And then Hazlewood came in and joined Stark, and they basically, again, took some decent shots off the bowling, but then Hazlewood got a peach of a delivery and was bowled by Natarajan for 11, and Stark was not out 20. So Australia's total finished on 369, and in that first session of play, Australia lost 5 wickets for 95, and they ended the actual innings performance on 115.2 overs. Look, and it was amazing. If you look at the situation, even though Australia did score 369, they added 95 in the last 5 wickets. The bowling of all the 2 debutants and Shardul in his second match was particularly strong. All 3 of those bowlers shared 3 wickets each. With Natarajan, 3 wickets for 78, it looked particularly good. Thakur, I think he was probably the best bowler. He was 3 for 94 and was always getting the ball to move away and hoop away, and Australia had a bit of difficulty against him, so he took 3 wickets. And Washington Sundar was fantastic as the now leading bowler, spin bowler of the team, took 3 for 69. Siraj pitched him with 1 for 77. Of course, we lost Navdeep Saini through the innings, which even makes it more remarkable, and he didn't take any wickets. So at lunch, Australia were 8 for 369, with India returning with their openers Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill to open the batting. And that, as we know, has been a great opening partnership. They've scored, I think, at least 2 partnerships of 70 runs or more, 70 and 71. And I was particularly looking forward to those 2 on bat. And they didn't disappoint me, in particular Rohit Sharma. Unfortunately, Gill was caught off a very, again, a good ball that he probably shouldn't have played. They should have let go. He was out for 7. That was a second ball of the spell of Cummins when he came on to bowl after both Stark and Hazelwood finished their first sessions. Gill was out for 7. The score then was 11. And the next ball when Pujara came into bat, was a further edge, which didn't carry. Pujara with his soft hands dropped the ball and didn't actually go to the slipper. So it was quite lucky, but as typical Pujara, he's able to keep soft hands on balls that are nicked and they tend not to reach the slips. So effectively, 1 for 11 score after 6.2 overs. Both Pujara and Rohit Sharma began to look very good. In fact, Sharma dominated, was on batting beautifully, looked in total command, and I think everyone thought that he was about to have a great day and score a massive century, which we're all looking forward to seeing, because clearly the class of Sharma oozes out of him when he bats. He's one of the best batters in the world on his day. Unfortunately, he gets the position of around 44 runs, and he in fact played a ball off line when Latham line came on. He skied the ball to a deep wide mid-on and was caught there by Stark for 44 when he looked the goods and looked like he was going to go a long way to getting a very good score. And then that was a very sad end to that. And then they went to tea at 2 for 62 with both Rahane and Pujara in bat. So that, at least, again, Pujara was resolute, strong as ever. Rahane was leaving balls very well. But it's just a disappointing touch that Sharma was looking fantastic on 44 with some magnificent shots. I thought was going on for a big score and disappointed somewhat the crowd and the commentators by getting out. So that when they went to tea at that point and they didn't return, the rain set in, and the game was eventually called off for the day. So they ended the day for 2 for 62, and that left Australia and India pretty much evenly poised, I would argue. The 369 as opposed to the 62 for 62, pretty evenly poised, probably slightly in Australia's favour, but India still have a lot in their favour. They've got the likes of Sharma and Pujara in bat, and a number of the all-rounders inside can do very well. This is Norman Koshnik here on the second day of the 4th test between India and Australia. Let's look forward to the 3rd day at a 9:30 start in the morning.